Sometimes during our daily meals, we casually eat something familiar without realizing that it might not actually be suitable for our body. At first, there might not be any noticeable reaction, but silently, the liver starts to overwork, the stomach resists, and the internal organs begin to signal trouble through fatigue or small signs that we often ignore. There's one type of fruit found in almost every household, but few people know that, when eaten by the wrong person, it can lead to liver toxicity, acid reflux, hormonal imbalances, or even miscarriage without a clear cause. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Something that seems healthy might actually carry hidden risks if consumed the wrong way. Warm greetings to everyone watching, the channel where each day I sit down with you to slow things down a little, listen to what our bodies are trying to say, and choose to live in a healthy, mindful way, not blindly believing everything we hear. I once had a neighbor who seemed perfectly healthy on the outside. Every day she ate ripe papaya after meals because she heard it was good for digestion and skin. But after just a few months, she started feeling persistent discomfort in her stomach, bloating, and unexplained fatigue. A medical checkup revealed that she had a mild gastric ulcer from before, and eating papaya on an empty stomach every day had worsened the irritation, weakening her stomach without her even realizing it. That's when I realized something important. Even if a food is considered healthy, if we eat it at the wrong time, or if it doesn't suit our body, it can still do more harm than good. So today, I want to share with you a very important topic. 6 groups of people who absolutely should not eat papaya, a fruit that seems harmless but isn't suitable for everyone. If you or someone you know falls into one of these groups, then even just a few small bites a day could quietly worsen an existing health condition. If today's topic feels relevant to you, leave a comment with the number 1 to let me know you're interested. If you feel it wasn't quite helpful yet, just leave a 0. I'll take your feedback seriously and improve future videos. I sincerely wish you great health. May your body stay strong and your mind feel peaceful every single day. And don't forget to watch until the end of the video, because I'll clearly explain who should avoid papaya, who can eat it, and how to eat it properly, so it becomes medicine, not poison. If you appreciate what Chân Lý Sống is doing, please subscribe, so I'll have more motivation each day to share simple, insightful, and truly helpful content with everyone, near and far. And now, let's move into the main section, discovering the 6 groups of people who absolutely should be cautious with this familiar fruit, so that if you, or someone close to you, is in one of these categories, you'll know how to avoid it early and protect your health with peace of mind. The first group that needs to be especially careful is anyone with digestive issues, particularly those with stomach pain, ulcers, or acid reflux. I know many of us have heard that papaya is gentle, good for digestion, and helps ease the stomach, so we assume the more we eat, the better. And it's true that ripe papaya contains an enzyme called papain, a proteolytic enzyme, meaning it helps break down proteins in food into more absorbable forms. However, papain is very active and has strong breakdown properties. So if you eat it on an empty stomach, or when your stomach lining is already damaged, like in cases of ulcers, gastritis, or reflux, it can act as an irritant, causing abnormal contractions and worsening the inflammation. In addition, papaya contains small amounts of natural organic acids like malic acid and citric acid. While not abundant, these can still increase stomach acid secretion when eaten on an empty stomach, leading to bloating, gas, and dull pain that we often dismiss. Some people feel soothed after eating a papaya, thinking it suits them, but others experience nausea or a burning sensation in the upper abdomen and don't realize the cause was this seemingly harmless fruit. If this happens repeatedly over time, the body won't send immediate warning signals, but the stomach lining will gradually erode, eventually leading to chronic inflammation, which is very difficult to heal. So if you have digestive issues, especially ulcers, reflux, or a weak stomach, it's best to limit papaya intake, especially when hungry. I always say that eating mindfully is an art, And understanding your body is wisdom. Just because something is good for someone else doesn't mean it's right for you. Remember this simple rule: know your body before you eat. Only then can you truly live a healthy and peaceful life. The second group who should be extremely cautious is pregnant women, especially during the first trimester. I understand that pregnancy is a time when a woman's body changes every day, and everything she eats can affect the baby directly. Many people believe papaya is healthy, cooling, and rich in vitamins A and C, so they eat it daily without hesitation. But in reality, papaya, especially unripe or semi-ripe papaya, contains a substance called latex. Latex is a mixture of various enzymes, including papain and chymopapain, and it's concerning because it can stimulate the mother's body to release prostaglandins, compounds that trigger uterine contractions. When the uterus contracts excessively, especially in the first trimester when the embryo hasn't securely implanted, there is a real risk of miscarriage or preterm labor. What's more, some studies suggest that high doses of papin can thin the uterine lining, affecting implantation. Even ripe papaya, though it has much less latex, if eaten in large and continuous amounts, can cause mild hormonal imbalances, making pregnant women feel more tired, have trouble sleeping, or experience unexplained disruptions in pregnancy-related hormones. So for pregnant women, no matter how familiar a food may be, it's best to be very cautious. If you really want to eat papaya, whether raw or cooked, always consult your doctor first to ensure peace of mind for both you and your baby. I truly believe that during pregnancy, being mindful of every bite is the greatest act of love a mother can give her child. And sometimes, a small act of avoidance today can lead to a smooth, healthy pregnancy in the future. The third group who should avoid papaya is anyone with a known latex allergy, that is, a sensitivity to natural plant latex. You may not be familiar with the term, but latex is a natural protein mixture found in rubber sap and in certain plants, including green or unripe papaya. For people with latex sensitivity, eating papaya can cause a range of reactions, from mild, like throat itching, mouth irritation or rashes, to severe, difficulty breathing, nausea, dizziness, or even anaphylaxis if the reaction is strong enough. What's alarming is that many people are allergic without realizing it. They might feel a mild itch and ignore it, or assume it's just body heat and never suspect the papaya. Medical studies have shown a cross-reactivity between latex and certain fruits, like papaya, banana, avocado, and kiwi, because they contain similar proteins that can confuse the immune system and trigger an allergic response. So, if you've ever experienced symptoms when exposed to rubber gloves, medical latex, or any of these fruits, there's a good chance you might also react to papaya. I always remind people, your body speaks before real problems happen. We just have to listen. So if you've ever felt throat discomfort, skin rashes, or irritation after eating papaya, even briefly, it's best to pause, observe, and stop consuming it. Eating should be for nourishment, not a gamble. And by staying mindful in your daily choices, a healthy life won't be out of reach. Let me tell you a short but memorable story. One day, a friend came over and brought a plate of green papaya salad with dried shrimp. A little girl from the neighborhood joined us and had a few bites. Soon after, her throat started itching, her face turned red, and small rashes appeared all over her body. Everyone thought she was allergic to shrimp, but after a medical checkup, it turned out the real cause was latex in the green papaya. It turns out she had previously experienced hand irritation while wearing rubber gloves, but dismissed it, thinking her skin was just sensitive, never realizing she had a plant latex allergy, especially to papaya. From that story, I suddenly realized there are things our bodies aren't compatible with, and if we don't pay attention, they quietly repeat themselves until one day the body reacts strongly, and we're completely unprepared. You see, latex is a reactive protein mixture found in rubber sap, in green papaya, in avocados, bananas, and for those with allergies, it can trigger an overreaction of the immune system, leading to symptoms like itchy mouth, throat irritation, hives, swollen lips, or even shortness of breath. These reactions may not be severe the first time, which makes it easy for us to overlook. That's why, if you've ever felt itchy when wearing rubber gloves, developed a rash after eating papaya, or felt unwell after a meal with green papaya, please don't ignore those signals. Sometimes, your body is speaking before you even know the cause. Just a little awareness, a little listening, can help you avoid unnecessary risks. The fourth group who should be cautious with papaya is anyone with a history or risk of kidney stones. I know many of us believe that papaya is gentle, hydrating, and cooling, so it must be good for the urinary system. But in reality, papaya contains a natural amount of oxalate. It's not as much as in spinach or kale, but if you eat it every day, especially if your kidneys are weak, you drink little water, or have had kidney stones before, this oxalate can still build up in your system. Oxalate binds with calcium in the urine to form calcium oxalate, the most common component of kidney stones. Our bodies are designed to flush oxalate out through urine, but when the kidneys aren't working well, or we don't drink enough water, or we consume too many oxalate-rich foods, that oxalate can crystallize, and stone formation becomes very likely. Also, ripe papaya is rich in vitamin C, and when absorbed in excess, some of that vitamin C converts into oxalate, adding more strain on the kidneys if it's not excreted in time. Some people eat it daily without knowing, and only realize something's wrong when they feel tired, experience painful urination, or go for an ultrasound and find out they already have stones. So, if you've had kidney stones or show signs of them, papaya, ripe or green, should be eaten in moderation. Especially if you're on a high oxalate diet, it's best to check with your doctor for the right balance. I truly believe eating is not just to fill the belly, it's also to nurture the body and protect the kidneys. A small dietary adjustment today may bring long-lasting relief. Because nothing is more precious than keeping our kidneys healthy, so we can walk through our golden years with ease, without the shadow of disease behind us. The fifth group who should carefully consider papaya is anyone taking blood thinners, especially warfarin or similar medications. I know many older folks are prescribed blood thinners due to heart disease, blood clots, strokes, or heart attacks. These medications prevent new clots from forming. They work by inhibiting vitamin K, which is necessary for blood clotting. Now here's what you need to know. Papaya, especially green or semi-ripe papaya, or immature seeds, contains a significant amount of natural vitamin K. If you eat it frequently or in large quantities, it may counteract the effects of your blood thinner, preventing your blood from thinning properly. This is dangerous because you might think you're protected, when in fact, your blood may still clot easily, leaving the risk of thrombosis lurking quietly. Not only vitamin K, but papaya also contains bioactive enzymes and compounds that can affect how drugs are metabolized in the liver, possibly altering the concentration of the drug in your blood over time. And blood thinners are very sensitive. Even a slight deviation in dosage or interaction can lead to internal bleeding or blood vessel blockage. So, if you're on anticoagulant therapy, be very mindful of foods high in vitamin K, including papaya. I'm not saying you must avoid it entirely, but it's best to eat a consistent, moderate amount and always check with your doctor, because one careless bite today could interfere with a long-term treatment plan. I've always believed that being healthy isn't just about eating well, it's also about knowing what medications you're on, so that every food you eat doesn't become a hidden threat to your health. And finally, the sixth group that should be cautious with papaya is those with low blood sugar, or those being treated for diabetes with insulin. I know many people believe papaya is a healthy fruit. It's not as sweet as mango or jackfruit, so they assume it won't affect blood sugar. But ripe papaya has a medium to high glycemic index, GI, around 60, which means it can raise blood sugar fairly quickly after consumption. For most people, this isn't a major issue. But if you're taking blood sugar-lowering medications or injecting insulin, these rapid changes can lead to unstable glucose levels. Blood sugar might spike, then crash hard. And low blood sugar is very dangerous, causing dizziness, shakiness, cold sweats, or even fainting if not treated quickly. Some people think they're just tired from the weather, but it's really their glucose bottoming out after a meal they thought was healthy. What's more, the natural sugars in papaya, especially in very ripe fruit, are easily absorbed fructose and glucose, which can complicate glucose control for people with type 2 diabetes. I'm not saying papaya is bad, but for those on medication or insulin, there needs to be a clear eating plan, with close monitoring after each meal. And avoid eating papaya when you're hungry or just after an insulin injection. The best approach is to eat papaya at the end of a meal, in small amounts, along with protein or healthy fats to slow sugar absorption. I truly believe that healthy living is mindful living. Our bodies don't ask for much, just that we understand them, feed them wisely, and listen closely. And in return, they thank us every day, with each heartbeat and each steady breath. Dear friends, for those in good health, papaya is truly a gift from nature, rich in antioxidants, loaded with vitamins A and C, soothing digestion, beautifying the skin, and supporting the immune system. But no matter how healthy a food is, if it's eaten at the wrong time or in excess, it can do more harm than good. With papaya, what matters most is eating the right amount, at the right time, in the right condition. It's best to eat papaya about 1 hour after a main meal, and avoid it when hungry or feeling unwell. Choose your papayas wisely. Avoid overly ripe ones, as they ferment easily, and never eat it raw or green if you're under 1 year old or have allergies. I always believe food is not just for fullness, it's for nourishing the body and calming the heart. Dear friends, every food has 2 sides, benefit and harm, and it's our understanding that determines whether papaya becomes a healing remedy or a silent risk. If today you realize that you, or someone you love, belongs to one of these 6 groups, I believe that's not something to fear, but a chance to take charge of your health. I truly hope you'll share this video with those around you, so everyone gains the right perspective and avoids small mistakes with big consequences. Because only with good health can we walk peacefully through the rest of our lives. And if you found this content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Chân Lý Sống channel and leave a comment saying, "I've learned," so I know you stayed with me till the end. That's my motivation to keep sharing these gentle yet meaningful messages so we can continue living with wisdom, with peace, and with good health together.